Butterflies, they are so fragile and elegant. We can't take our eyes off them. Their colorfulness is almost unrivaled in the living world. But like everything in nature, it is not an end in itself. It has a precise place in the reproduction process of these unique pollinators, whose appearance changes radically at every stage of their vulnerable lives. Let's keep our fingers crossed for them on this difficult journey, because without them, there would be no diversity of flowering plants. Humans dominate our planet too much. In an effort to make the most of nature for their own benefit, they are changing it beyond recognition. In order to extract as much energy and nutrients from the earth as possible, they are intensifying and chemically treating agriculture. All living organisms suffer as a result, including butterflies. These fragile creatures are unable to keep up with the pace at which we are changing the landscape. Therefore, if we do not begin to effectively protect their natural habitat, along with insects pollinating plants, amphibians, birds, mammals, and ultimately humans will also disappear from the countryside. It is summer, and the hot sun is drying out the countryside more and more every day. Butterflies are looking for flowers, water, and fruit juice. There is little nectar in the parched meadows, so they visit our cultivated gardens more often. They are particularly attracted to the ornamental plants that people plant here. Even fallen and rotting fruit from old cherry trees does not go to waste. Brushfoots, graylings, emperors, and sometimes even some caterpillars join the feast. A butterfly species that often visits human gardens is scarce swallowtail. Its caterpillars feed on the leaves of blackthorn, hawthorn, and wild fruit trees in nature. Our gardens provide them with a secondary refuge. They mainly visit plums, greengages, cherries, and peaches. They are not found in large numbers here, and the caterpillars have many natural enemies, so they cause almost no significant damage to trees. Butterflies of scarce swallowtail are important pollinators and are a real decoration and helper in gardens. In the southern parts of Slovakia, especially where potatoes are grown, the death's head hawk moth occurs. It is one of our largest moths. In addition to potatoes whose leaves feed its caterpillars, it is also attracted to beehives. Honey is the main food source for this moth. After dark, the hawk moth awakens and needs to eat. Hunger forces it to take risks. It squeezes through a narrow opening into the hive, where it must act quickly. The bees are alert even at night and immediately attack the intruder. However, the death's head hawk moth is robust and covered with smooth hairs, so the bee's stingers slide off its body. It quickly pierces one honeycomb after another and sucks the honey with its short but strong tongue. All that remains is to escape from the hive, and the male sets out to find a female with which he will mate. It may seem that bees are completely defenseless against these thieves. However, sometimes the moth is weakened by a long search for food or wanders around the hive for too long until it weakens so much that the bees take over and it succumbs to their numerical superiority. They surround the moth with their bodies and vibrate to generate so much heat that they literally bake it alive. When the beekeeper checks the combs the next day, he only finds the dead corpse of the moth. The urban jungle serves primarily humans. Nature has only a small space reserved here. Nevertheless, there are butterfly and moth species that thrive in this environment. One of them is another hawk moth, the oleander hawk moth. This beautiful camouflaged moth, like the death's head hawk moth, rarely flies to us from southern Europe. There, as here, it is found in urban areas and gardens. The caterpillars of this species feed on oleanders, which people grow on terraces, balconies, and in gardens. The caterpillars initially eat mainly flowers and flower buds. Only later do they start eating the hard, leathery leaves. When the caterpillars reach their maximum size, they turn brown, which means they are ready to pupate. They climb down from the oleander and burrow into the fallen leaves near the trunk, where they spin a fine cocoon. Here they transform into pupae. In 4 to 6 weeks, the moth emerges. The moths always hatch after dark. The moths that hatch here at the end of summer probably migrate back south, as this species does not undergo diapause even in the pupal stage. However, this does not apply to the atlantis silk moth. It is one of the newer species of moths in Slovakia. Its pupae, hidden in silken cocoons, can easily survive the mild winter in our capital city. The atlantis silk moth originates from Asia. It was introduced to Europe in the first half of the 19th century. The caterpillars were bred by merchants for silk production. However, the silk was not as high quality as that produced by the mulberry silk moth. The atlantis silk moth that escaped into the wild probably came from breeding farms. The closest population of this species to us lives in neighboring Austria, in Vienna. From there, it probably traveled naturally along the Danube River to Bratislava and further to southeastern Slovakia. The peacock butterfly is one of our most beautiful and best-known butterflies. It often flies into gardens, where it pollinates various types of flowers. Its caterpillars live together on nettles. The community of caterpillars behaves as a single entity, as if it was a separate organism. The caterpillars eat, climb, and spin webs on leaves together, rest together, and develop and grow together. Living together means greater safety for the individual, as there is less chance that a predator will choose you from the crowd. But when the caterpillars mature, they live independently. They pupate hanging upside down. The butterfly hatches in about 2 weeks. It still has to straighten its wings and tongue. The proboscis is like a straw and consists of 2 parts that the butterfly joins together. The peacock butterfly has a few sunny days left to feed before the long winter. With the arrival of the first cold mornings, it will look for a suitable shelter where it will hibernate. Today, butterflies are no longer dependent on purely natural wintering grounds. Most of them use human structures: garages, woodsheds, barns, cottages, and other accessible places. Autumn is the season of ripening. Nature opens its supermarket to all its inhabitants. The landscape is once again covered in a white blanket where it rests and sleeps in silence. After a long winter, spring has finally arrived. Caterpillars and butterflies are also awakening from their winter sleep. Peacock butterflies, small tortoiseshell, and even comma butterflies fly out of their winter shelters to feed on the nectar of the first spring flowers. The large tortoiseshell and the newly hatched scarce swallowtail join them. The red admiral seems to prefer the purple flowers of the lilac. The spring sun has warmed the countryside. The explosion of colors from the first flowers has filled the gardens with beauty and variety. At the end of April, slow emperor moths hatch from their overwintering pupae. It is a nocturnal moth of the giant silkworm moth family. Its caterpillars feed mainly on blackthorn, bird cherry, hawthorn, and wild rose. This beautiful moth is found in pastures and forest steppes. Unfortunately, it is no longer found in Slovakia, having gradually become extinct during the 70s and 80s. The number of butterflies is rapidly declining year by year. This is not due to their natural predators or collectors, but because they have nowhere to live. Humankind fulfills its needs by cutting down forests and plowing meadows. It drains wetlands, modifies river flows, establishes fields, and builds cities on areas of flowering meadows and forests. Only fragments of the original landscape remain, and even those are gradually disappearing. The steppes are rapidly overgrown with self-sown trees and will soon turn into shrubs and copses. In the past, there was abundant grazing in Slovakia, with cattle grazing on the steppes and pastures, eating not only herbs, but also seedlings of self-sown trees. Along with these areas, all the plant and animal species associated with them are disappearing, and the diversity of life is declining. On the contrary, biodiversity is gradually being replaced by monoculture, and meadows mowed by machines are actually just hay plantations. Colorful, flowering hillsides, meadows and slopes blooming with a variety of plants and insects are becoming increasingly rare. In the past, mowing was done by hand, and the hay was left in the meadow for a while to dry. In addition, the entire meadow was not mowed at once, so insects had the opportunity to move to the unmowed part. In order to preserve the diversity of our nature, we must start practicing rotational grazing and mosaic mowing of meadows. Proper land management will bring life back to the countryside. We will once again have steppes and pastures full of flowers and flying insects. Human help is essential, as only humans can create suitable conditions in the countryside for the existence of all meadow and pasture insect species, including butterflies. Overgrown and abandoned vineyards are also suitable refuges for various thermophilic butterfly species. The opposite is true of vineyards treated with pesticides, where insects cannot thrive. Butterflies have therefore retreated to their protected edges. A very rare inhabitant of such habitats is the southern white admiral. Its caterpillars feed on honeysuckle leaves. When they mature, they hang upside down on a twig and transform into a chrysalis. In a few days, the adult butterfly hatches. Some species of butterflies and moths have adapted to human activity. They use railway tracks as migration corridors and railway stations as secondary refuges. Because trains constantly mow plants to a certain height, stations have become low-herb communities of certain plant species, creating an interesting habitat for some species of butterflies and insects. If the station is not sprayed with herbicides, it also serves as a buffet with various types of wildflowers for butterflies and moths. In the evening, these places are also visited by the rare and legally protected willow-herb hawk moth. It is one of the smallest hawk moths which flies around human dwellings in May and June. This little moth flies very fast and expends a lot of energy, so it must frequently visit flowers full of nectar. Honeysuckle, silene, and sage are among its favorite types of flowers. In the evening, nocturnal hunters wake up. Bats have replaced birds and, after a whole day of sleep, are now very hungry. But bats are not the only ones hunting insects at night. Young cats also enjoy large species of moths. The fluttering of their wings as they feed on flowers provokes their quick senses, and the hunt can begin. Butterflies have too many natural enemies. Unfortunately, humans are among them. In fact, they are enemy number one. They have earned their infamous position by destroying their natural habitats and through improper management. Humans are wiping out entire insect populations with chemical sprays in the countryside. Even after they have been fatally poisoned, the chemicals continue to travel into the soil, plants, and water, where they remain for years. The diversity of species on the planet is essential to ensure its proper functioning. The entire Earth is like one living and interconnected system. If humans, the apex of living organisms on Earth, continue to ruthlessly destroy the insects that crawl beneath their feet, the entire ecosystem will eventually collapse. If we want to have a healthy environment and diversity of insect species in our cities and gardens, we must limit or completely eliminate chemical interventions. In the end, we will also help ourselves by consuming healthy fruits and vegetables. By beautifying and diversifying our gardens, we could create a piece of wilderness where butterflies and moths could find their home. Biodiversity and the associated diversity and abundance of insects are key to the survival of all creatures, plants, and ultimately us. If we continue to disrupt the fragile balance of our planet's biosphere, we may end up destroying ourselves as a result. But humans are intelligent creatures created by nature itself. Let us therefore live in harmony with her. After all, it is our breadwinner and our only true home.